Join Tiny Tales Paradise for the Princess and the Hidden Seed, a moving bedtime story for kids. This educational kids' story teaches sincerity through colorful animations and a warm narration. Perfect for bedtime or classroom learning. Subscribe for weekly fairy tales and moral stories. The Princess and the Hidden Seed. Chapter 1. The Kingdom of Starbloom. In the sparkling kingdom of Starbloom, where rolling hills bloomed with rainbow-colored flowers and rivers sang with crystal-clear water, lived a young prince named Felix. Starbloom was a land of wonder, with markets bustling with bakers selling honey cakes, weavers crafting shimmery fabrics, and children chasing glowing fireflies at dusk. The castle, perched on a hill, gleamed with towers topped with star-shaped lanterns that lit up the night. Prince Felix, with his kind green eyes and curly brown hair, was beloved by all. He was clever, always tinkering with gadgets in the castle workshop, and curious, forever asking questions about the world. But Felix was lonely. His parents, King Roland and Queen Lila, wanted him to find a true princess to share his life, a kind, clever, and sensitive soul who could bring joy to Starbloom. A true princess, Queen Lila said, brushing flour from her apron after baking with the castle cooks, has a heart that notices the smallest details and cares for others deeply. King Roland nodded, polishing his crown. She must be wise, brave, and true. Felix, only such a princess can help you lead Starbloom with love. Felix sighed. But how will I know she's the right one? The kingdom had seen many visitors claiming to be princesses, but none felt genuine. Some were vain, caring only for jewels. Others were rude, ignoring the castle staff. Felix wanted a friend, not just a title. One stormy evening, as rain pattered on the castle windows and thunder rumbled like a giant's drum, a knock echoed at the gate. Felix, reading in the library, perked up. Who could that be in this weather, he wondered, racing to the courtyard. Chapter 2. The Mysterious Visitor. At the gate stood a girl, soaked to the bone, her cloak dripping and her auburn hair plastered to her face. She shivered but smiled brightly. "I'm Princess Alara from Meadowglint," she said, her voice steady despite the cold. "My carriage broke down in the storm, and I seek shelter." The guards hesitated. She looked more like a weary traveler than a princess, but Felix felt a spark of curiosity. Her eyes twinkled with warmth, and she thanked the guards politely, even as rain poured down. King Roland and Queen Lila welcomed her inside. A princess, you say? Queen Lila asked, handing Alara a warm blanket. Alara nodded. "Yes, but I'm afraid I don't look like one now." She laughed, wringing out her cloak. She noticed a maid struggling with a heavy tray and hurried to help, earning a grateful smile. Felix watched, intrigued. She's kind, he thought. But is she a true princess? Queen Lila had an idea. "We'll test her sensitivity," she whispered to Felix and the king. "A true princess notices the smallest things, even in comfort." That night, the queen prepared a guest room with a grand bed piled high with 20 soft mattresses, each fluffier than the last, and 20 feather quilts, as light as clouds. But under the bottom mattress, she placed a single tiny seed, not a pea, but a magical moon seed from Starbloom's enchanted garden, said to glow faintly when touched by a pure heart. "If she feels the seed," Queen Lila said, "her heart is sensitive and true." Felix frowned. A seed under all that. It seems impossible. But he trusted his mother's wisdom. and waited to see what would happen. Chapter 3. Alara's Restless Night. Alara thanked the royal family for their hospitality, her manners polite but natural. She climbed the ladder to the towering bed, marveling at its height. "It's like sleeping on a mountain." She giggled, making Felix smile. As she settled in, the castle grew quiet, save for the storm's distant rumble. But Alara couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, feeling a strange unease. The bed was soft, the quilts cozy, but something felt off. "It's as if a tiny pebble is poking me," she murmured, shifting again. She lay awake, listening to the rain, her mind racing. "It's not just discomfort," she thought. "It's like the bed is trying to tell me something." By morning, Alara's eyes were tired, but she greeted the royal family with a cheerful smile. "At breakfast," Queen Lila asked, "Did you sleep well?" Dear Alara hesitated, then said, "The bed was lovely, but I felt something small, like a seed, under all those mattresses. It kept me awake, as if it was glowing or calling to me." Felix's eyes widened. "A seed?" he asked. Alara nodded. "I know it sounds strange, but I'm sure of it." King Roland exchanged a look with Queen Lila. "Remarkable," he said. "Only a true princess with a sensitive heart could feel a moonseed's magic." Felix was amazed but curious. "Let's check the bed," he suggested, leading the way. Chapter 4. The Moonseed's Secret. The royal family, Alara, and a few curious maids climbed to the guest room. Felix and Alara pulled back the quilts and mattresses, one by one, until they reached the bottom. There, on the bed frame, lay the tiny moonseed, glowing faintly with a silvery light. Alara gasped. "It is a seed and it glows." Felix picked it up, and the glow brightened in his hand. "It's a moonseed," he explained. "It senses a kind and honest heart." Queen Lila smiled. "You felt its magic, Alara, through 20 mattresses and quilts. That shows a rare sensitivity." Alara blushed. "I just thought something wasn't right. I notice little things like when a bird's song changes or a flower needs water." Felix grinned. "That's exactly what Starbloom needs." But Felix wanted to know more about Alara. "A true princess isn't just sensitive," he said. "She's clever and kind, too. Tell us about Meadowglint." Alara's eyes lit up. She shared stories of her kingdom, where she taught children to read, helped farmers plant crops, and invented a water wheel to ease their work. "I love solving problems," she said, "even small ones, like fixing a leaky bucket or cheering up a sad friend." Felix was enchanted. Alara wasn't just a princess by title. She was curious, thoughtful, and caring. But he wanted to be sure. "Let's spend the day together," he suggested. "I'll show you Starbloom, and we'll see if you're truly the one." Alara agreed, her smile bright despite her sleepless night. Chapter 5. A Day in Starbloom. Felix and Alara explored the kingdom, starting at the bustling market. Alara helped a baker rearrange his stall to attract more customers, suggesting he display his honey cakes in a star-shaped pattern. The baker beamed as children flocked to buy them. At the weaver's shop, Alara noticed a tangled loom and gently untangled the threads, earning the weaver's thanks. Felix watched, impressed. "She sees what others miss," he thought. Next, they visited Starbloom's enchanted garden, where flowers glowed at night and vines danced to soft music. Alara knelt by a wilting rose, noticing its soil was too dry. "A little water and shade will help," she said, fetching a watering can. The rose perked up, its petals shimmering. Felix clapped. "You're like a garden whisperer." As they wandered, Alara shared more about herself. "In Meadowglint, I learned to listen to people, to nature, to my heart. It's how I solve problems." Felix shared his own passions, showing her his workshop, where he built birdhouses and wind chimes. Alara suggested adding tiny bells to the chimes for a sweeter sound, and Felix's eyes sparkled. "That's brilliant," he said. By afternoon, they reached the river, where children played with paper boats. One boy's boat sank, and he cried. Alara folded a new one, stronger and faster, and taught him how to make it float. The boy hugged her, and Felix whispered to himself, "She's kind, clever, and sensitive. Could she be the one?" Chapter 6. The Final Test. That evening, King Roland and Queen Lila invited Alara to dinner in the Great Hall, where star-shaped lanterns glowed overhead. They wanted one final test, not of a seed, but of her heart. During the meal, a servant accidentally spilled juice on Alara's dress. The hall went quiet, expecting her to be upset. Instead, Alara laughed softly. "Oh, accidents happen. No harm done." She helped the servant clean up, chatting with her about her family. The servant smiled, no longer nervous. Later, Queen Lila hid a small, broken music box in the garden, knowing Alara loved solving problems. When Felix mentioned the box was missing, Alara offered to find it. She searched the garden, noticing a faint chime under a bush. She retrieved the box, fixed its gears with a hairpin, and played a sweet melody. The royal family clapped, and Felix knew Alara was the true princess they sought. King Roland stood. "Alara, your heart is kind, your mind sharp, and your spirit sensitive. You're welcome in Starbloom as our true princess." Alara blushed. "I'm honored, but I only want to help and learn." Felix grinned. "Then stay, and we'll learn together." Chapter 7. A New Beginning. Alara stayed in Starbloom, not as a guest, but as a friend and soon a partner to Felix. They worked together, inventing new gadgets, teaching children, and tending the enchanted garden. The moon seed was planted in the garden, where it grew into a shimmering tree, its branches glowing under the stars, a symbol of Alara's true heart. The people of Starbloom loved Alara, who brought laughter and kindness to the kingdom. She and Felix built a school for children to learn about nature, music, and problem-solving. They hosted festivals where everyone, from bakers to weavers, shared their talents. The castle, once quiet, buzzed with joy. Years later, Felix and Alara married under the moonseed tree, surrounded by villagers and glowing flowers. King Roland and Queen Lila beamed, knowing Starbloom was in good hands. The children of the kingdom grew up hearing the story of the princess who felt a tiny seed and proved her heart was true, not just by title, but by her actions. The lesson. The tale of Princess Alara and the hidden seed taught the children of Starbloom and all who heard it that a true heart shines through kindness, cleverness, and sensitivity. Alara's ability to notice small details, solve problems, and care for others showed that being royal means helping those around you. The moon seed's glow reminded everyone that even the smallest acts of love can grow into something magical, lighting up a kingdom with hope and joy.